At 6:29, it always gets quiet in here. Call the meeting to order. We're all present this evening. The invocation this evening will be given by Randy Mitchell, the pastor at the First United Methodist Church. Colonel, how would you like to lead us in flag salute?
On your last day, why not?
Mayor and Council, as always, thank you for your service to our community. Let us pray. God, we celebrate life this night, life lived in a beautiful place in a good community surrounded by good people. We thank you for the council that serves. We pray for wisdom for them, Lord, as they wrestle with the hard decisions, and we celebrate the easy ones and the ones to celebrate. We give you thanks. But thank you for this community called Enid. Thank you for all who work for her and all who live here. We pray, Lord, that you would just guide us to make Enid the best place it can be for all your people. We are grateful again for the privilege of life, and we give you thanks this day. Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Colonel Sanders. Item 4, consider approval of minutes of the regular commission meeting of April the 16th.
motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Ron, second by Ben.
Derwin. Close enough.
Please, is that?
Oh, we've already changed the nameplate, so can we just take a voice vote on?
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Item 5, awards, presentations, proclamations, and organizational business. Item 5.1, present bed available for adoption at the city animal shelter. Here we are.
Good luck.
Ben, he's looking at you.
Yeah,
Well, tonight we have an American Bulldog. He's brown and white, a party color. He's real friendly, and he likes to play catch. He's been with us for about a month, and he's up for adoption at the city animal shelter. Come out and adopt him. He'd make somebody a real good pet. Loves to play. Oh, and his name is Eggster. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 5.2, recognize the City of Enid, a City of Enid employee, Gerald, maybe employees. Sitting there beside my wife. He's the city judge.
Well, tonight, I wanted to pass on some news to you and recognize a great employee that has worked for the city of Enid for about 36 years. And he's sitting here tonight, Robert Hitt, and we have a lot of great things to give you, Robert. I know you're going to be leaving us soon. In fact, this might be your last meeting, but we have some things to give you, and I couldn't let you go out the door without recognizing you properly for the wonderful employee you've been to the city for all that time, longer than most of us have been around. So bear with me, because I know this isn't your favorite thing, so I'll try to make it quick. But first of all, we'll start with the obligatory stuff. Robert, why don't you come on up? This will look real good in your home office or wherever you want to put it. That's just a plaque that commemorates what you've done for us. This is a card with some nice notes from me, but more importantly, there's a gift card for several $100. So I'm sure you'll have no problem with that. But wanted to present that to you, and this is fitting for what you've done, but I thought that I wanted to give you something else. We haven't given very many of these. city, but wanted to give you a key to the city, because I thought if any employee has earned a key to the city, it's probably you, because you've been around when many of these projects were built, and so you may already have some keys in your office, but I don't know. But I want to present that key to you, and then also, and here's a nice case for it, and then you probably haven't, we probably haven't passed out some of these to people like you that are very deserving, but this is the coin that we had for the city that was made for 125 years. So I want to thank you so much.
Thanks, Gerald.
For your service, and I'll give you an opportunity if you wanted to say anything. I'm going to miss him personally, and I know that city staff are going to miss him. He's the history of this place, and occasionally we have employees leave with a lot of service like you, and every time we feel it. And I'm glad that we will have your phone number, because we'll probably still call you. Especially, if not me, Morali and Chris and stuff. So, but anyway, please say a few words if you want to, but thanks a bunch.
Thanks, Joe.
And appreciate it.
Thank you all. And I want to say thanks again to Joe Gilbert. He's been a good friend. He's been an excellent leader, and I really appreciate the opportunity to work in the city, and I really appreciate him keeping me on for these last few years and not firing me, so I appreciate that.
He's a comedian. He's going to be a comedian for.
Also, I want to say give thanks to the commission, the mayor, and the commissioners, many commissioners that I've worked under, but particularly this commission. These commissioners, as you all know, have had some great vision. Not only that have great vision, they've actually been able to move on that vision and make great improvements and got great things happening in the city of Enid. So I'd just like to thank the commissioner for letting me be at least a small part of that, and thank you for your vision and let me be a part of that anyway. Also, I must say thanks for the staff that Gerald has here. All the staff are there. They know what they're doing. They are experts in their field, and they've been very supportive to me whenever we had projects working together. They are not only the staff here, but my staff that's been for the engineering department, and actually also the line workers out there, the workers out there in the field. The chance that I've had to, over the years, to work with the employees out there in the field, they've been, they're always working for the best interests of the city, and I've had a pleasure to work with them, and whenever I've had issues or projects, they've always been very supportive to me. But who I want to thank most is you, the citizens and the residents of Enid. The reason that most of us are here is because Enid is a great place to work, and it's a great place to raise your family, and it's a great place to live. It is one of the best. That's why I've been here, and my family's been here for 37 years, and I want to thank each and every one for what they've contributed to the community and made it really a great place to live and work. So, thank you.
It's the longest speech you've made in a long time. Good job.
36. Yes, it is, but I think Minnie deserved it. Thank you.
Item 3, present an Economic Development Week proclamation. Steve?
Mayor, can you join me one more time? Sure. Center, please. Mayor and Commissioners, Mr. Gilbert, ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 proclamations for this evening. And the first one, Lisa Powell from ERDA. If Lisa would join us. Getting crowded up here with all this memorabilia. Hi, Lisa.
Swag.
Are you going to read it?
I'll read it. Okay, I'll do the first paragraph, Lisa, you do the second. No, okay. Here we go. Whereas the International Economic Development Council is the largest professional economic development organization dedicated to serving economic developers, And whereas the council provides leadership and excellence in economic development for communities, its members, and partners through conferences, training courses, advisory services, and research, such as the Accredited Economic Development Organization Program and the Certified Economic Developer designation. And whereas economic developers, such as the Enid Regional Development Alliance, ERDA, promote economic well-being and quality of life for the communities by creating, retaining, and expanding jobs that facilitate growth, enhance wealth, and provide a stable tax base. And economic developers help establish the next generation of new businesses, which is the hallmark of the American economy. And whereas economic developers like ERDA are engaged in a wide variety of settings, including rural and urban, local, state, and federal governments, public-private partnerships, Chamber of Commerce, and a variety of other institutions to attract and retain high-quality jobs, develop vibrant communities, and improve the quality of life in their regions. Now, therefore, Bill Shuey, for the last time, the mayor of the city of Enid, Oklahoma, designate May 6th through 11th, 2019 as National Economic Development Week. Congratulations, Lisa.
Just to clarify, this is not a recognition of ERDA specifically or of myself, but in accordance with the International Economic Development Council, nationally we are celebrating this week as Economic Development Week along with other communities across the country, just to raise awareness of the field of economic development and all that the city of Enid does as a result of their vision 10 years ago to support and fund economic development in the community, as well as all of the many partners that we work with to make that happen here in Enid. It is definitely a team sport. Our office of 2 employees definitely does not do this all alone. And so all of our educational facilities and other agencies across town really work together on economic development in Enid. And I think you can see the results of that after these 10 years of the city's investment. And we hope to just raise awareness this week of the profession and what we're doing in Enid. We have an open house at our office, which is at the Strait Center, Wednesday morning from 8 to 10. It's in conjunction with the Strait Center's 10-year anniversary as well, so everybody is welcome to come out there and visit. So, thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
All right.
And we have one more proclamation. Everett, thank you for joining us, front and center. There's a big event coming up on Friday, May 17th, goes into May 18th at Meadow Lake Park, and it's Camp in the Park. I think Everett's going to give us some details about that. But in preparation for that, we have a proclamation in regard to Kids Day or Kids to Parks Day. Whereas Saturday, May 18th of 2019 is the 8th Kids to Parks Day organized and launched by the National Park Trust, while an estimated 87,239 kids are expected to participate in the 3rd Saturday in May event. Whereas Kids to Parks Day empowers kids, encourages families to get outdoors and visit America's parks while instilling the value and appreciation of our public lands. And whereas it is important to introduce a new generation to our nation's parks because of the decline in park attendance over the last decade. And we should encourage children to lead a more active lifestyle to combat the issues of childhood obesity, hypertension, and whereas Kids to Park Day is open to all children and adults and big kids across the country to encourage a large and diverse group of participants. And whereas Kids to Park Day will broaden children's appreciation for nature and the outdoors and cultivate future generations of outdoor enthusiasts. Now, therefore, Bill Shuey, Mayor of the City of Enid, Oklahoma, requests all citizens to take the children in their lives to a neighborhood, a state, or national park, and hereby proclaims May 18th, which is Saturday in 2019, as Kids to Park Days. And now recognizing Everett Glenn, our Director of Public Works, in regards to what Parks is all about. Everett, congratulations.
as we found out about this event, this National Kids in the Park Day, I talked to Corey Bowler, our park supervisor, and we came up with a great plan. We're going to do a camping in the park. Starts on the 17th and it goes into the 18th. We're trying to do the same thing. We're trying to get the kids out, and we're starting to create things for them to do. So this event's already growing. We've got 40 campers plus going right now, and we're thinking we're going to hit a couple hundred campers out there at the park. So anyway, thank you very much, Mayor.
Keep up the good work. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is to recognize the outgoing commissioners and mayor. Gerald, do you want them to come on down here?
Why don't, yes, why don't the three outgoing come on down?
We have another presentation that Mr. Gilbert wants to make to the outgoing folks this evening. I tried to make it simple.
That's a good idea.
I mean,
Minimally funereal.
Okay, we're going to recognize the outgoing city commissioners and then install the new ones. And this is, we've been working together for 8 years, and you've been city commissioners and the mayor for 8 years and 5 days. So we had a reception that some of you may have attended on April 23rd, where we unveiled these nice gifts that are a picture of the commission working together, and also a key to the city and a coin. And so they will take that with them tonight, and we want to display them again. But we also have some special gifts to give them as well. And I'm going to start out, Tammy, with you from Ward 5. Tammy's very passionate, as all the commissioners are, and has championed many things in her tenure, including being a champion of the downtown development, and certainly many, many special events in town. In fact, she helped us rework the special event process and continues to help us, because I don't think we're close to getting it just right. One of the events that she has pioneered among the many is one that I probably will go without even saying when we give you this, but I think this is a fitting tribute, Tammy. This is a brick from the old downtown Crest building. It's got Enid on it, and it was already kind of reddish, but we wanted to make it red because one of the events you've started is the Red Brick Food Festival over on Maple Street. And so we wanted to present that to you, and that will work as a doorstop or a paper plate, or if you get a city manager's attention or a commissioner or something, you can use that as well in the future.
Fill a pothole with it.
First of all, I would like to say thank you to everybody that has supported us and has believed in the visions that we've had. I know that they haven't all been popular, but I think that in several years, when everybody looks back, I think that you're going to find we were all on the right side of history in Enid, and we've accomplished a lot of amazing things, and that is not due to just any one or two people. It's because we've all been able to work as a team, and I just appreciate everybody's support and everybody's love and appreciation and everything that you guys have shown over the last few years. And sometimes the shoulders to cry on have been very important also. And I just want to say thank you to all my fellow commissioners and to Gerald and the city staff for giving us a great 8 years. Thank you.
Well, Commissioner Jansen's next, and it was tough to come up with something for Commissioner Jansen, not because he hasn't been a part of all of these things.
Keep a low profile.
Yes, but one of the things he has mentioned to me multiple times is that he has had perfect attendance through his 8 years on commission and his previous 4, which, Robert, you remember because you were serving as the city engineer back then. And so, Ron, come on up here. I want you, just like high school, I want you to get... This is likely the only one of its kind because I've never heard anybody that was able to make perfect attendance through an 8-year period, much less 12. So Ron, you set the standard, and I know you probably have a few words of wisdom for us.
Well, I might tell you that my wife says the reason for this is that we never go anywhere. And, she may be right. But anyway, Gerald, thank you very much. I appreciate these kind of honors, and I've got a number of plaques like this hanging in my garage, so I'll put this one out there with those. But I want to second what Tammy said. It has been a good 8 years. We've accomplished a lot of things. And I think one of the most important things is that I got acquainted with and got to spend time with a lot of really good people. The commission has been, we've had some changes on the commission in the 8 years that we've served. But I've enjoyed working with all those people, and I feel like all of them have the best interest of Enid at heart. So, and I want to congratulate the incoming commissioners. We're bringing some new people on. We're leaving the city in good hands. So I'm not going to say that I'm not going to run again, but never say die. Thank you.
Mayor, we have a few things for you tonight as well, too. One of them is this proclamation, or rather citation from the state of Oklahoma, and I'm going to go ahead and read it for you. This came from the Oklahoma legislature. Citation for Bill Shuey. Whereas Mayor Bill Shuey served the city of Enid honorably and diligently in the capacity as mayor and has committed his time as an excellent public server, not only to his community, but the state of Oklahoma, and whereas has demonstrated great success under economic growth, making a significant impact through community involvement in the city of Enid, and whereas it is fitting and proper that the Oklahoma House of Representatives, acting on behalf of the citizens of the great city of Enid, take great pride in recognizing the outstanding service of Mayor Bill Shuey. Now, therefore, pursuant to the motion of Representative Denise Crosswhite-Hayter, Representative John Pfeiffer, Representative Chad Caldwell, and Senator Roland Peterson, the Oklahoma State Legislature extends to Mayor Bill Shuey sincere appreciation and directs that this citation be presented. And here's a note from Denise on behalf of the legislators to you. So I wanted to present that to you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And I have a couple other things here for you. And we're going to give all the commissioners your nameplates. But you're going to get this nameplate too, Mayor. In grateful appreciation for 8 years of service on the City Council as mayor for the city, the recognition reflects our appreciation for 8 years of service and extraordinary dedication to the Enid community and is a symbol of your personal and professional achievements. We thank you for your leadership over the last 8 years and 5 days.
You're welcome.
And I think we have a special gift. Carrie, do you want to come up and...
So, the greatest thing I ever had coming into Enid was a mayor that always greeted you saying, "It's a great day in Enid, Oklahoma." So, almost every time I talk to Mayor, and especially coming into town for the first time and then getting in this position, he's always had a positive, upbeat attitude. And he always makes it a great day in Oklahoma, especially when you're around him. So I just wanted to painted this myself for you, and this is my way of saying thank you for being the mayor, and thank you for making it so enjoyable and being here.
Thank you.
And Mayor, we've got one more. George, do you want to come on down?
Fellow commissioners, good This is kind of a memento from all of us that served as commissioners with you that we wanted to pass on. I don't know if you noticed tonight in the study session,
but the gavel probably didn't feel quite right. It might have been a little too light or a little too heavy or just didn't look quite right. Well, that's because we took the one that you had and we had it mounted on a plaque. So you used a new one tonight. You wore the old one out. I had to start with something. Right?
You'll get used to it.
Yeah. So anyway, we made up a plaque. It says, City of Enid, William Bill E. Shuey, 2011 to 2019. Thank you for your outstanding and dedicated service to the City of Enid from the Commissioners. Ron Jansen, Ward 1. Ben Azell, Derwin Norwood, Ward 2. Ben Azell, Ward 3. Jonathan Waddell, Ward 4. Cammie Wilson, Ward 5. And George Pankonin, Ward 6. You've been a great mentor.
Got you a shopping cart to push all that out.
It is another great day in Enid, Oklahoma. You know what? You were going to retire in 4 years. You're still there. And we appreciate you. 8 years, somebody said it's 2,920 days. Add 5 of that to that now. But it's been good. We've done a lot of things in Enid, Oklahoma. We've done a lot of things right. Look around and you'll know what I mean. We work well as a city council. Sometimes we don't vote the same, but we keep on going for the good of the city of Enid. And the new city council will do all right. They will be great. Jerry, Rob, and whoever comes in on May the 21st, we wish you nothing but the best. Again, today is a great day in Enid, Oklahoma. Thank you.
Well, hey, we're going to install the new commissioners here in just a moment, but I want to say again, as the outgoing mayor and commissioners depart, it's a thankless job. They don't get paid, and they catch a lot of criticism. So I appreciate their perseverance in doing lots of great things for the city, and I welcome their feedback and input as we go forward, and I would expect to see some of them maybe back up here again someday. So thank you for your service, Mayor and Commissioners. You may have talked to Hannah, so. Anyway, thank you.
Got it?
I know, you gotta keep an eye on her. Robert, your hair was a little dark.
Now you better hang out down there. You gotta, yeah.
Good luck to you. Thank you.
It's your memento too? Isn't that exciting?
Thank you.
Get by, I wouldn't wanna leave this behind.
Yeah, don't forget that. Yeah, it's close enough. Nobody's gonna be looking at you, Jim.
Oh, duh, that's what those were. This is mine. Oh, there it is.
judge. You get to say what to do, right?
All day long.
I have the incoming mayor and commissioners. Actually, Steve.
Am I supposed to be,
everybody
am I supposed to be up there now, or is it just, is everybody? No, not.
No, we're fine.
Now, the good news is, I have something that I can read. Bad news is you have to repeat after me. So if you all would raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear. I will support, obey, and defend.
That I will support, obey, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma.
And the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma.
And that I will not knowingly receive.
And I will not knowingly receive.
Directly or indirectly.
Directly or indirectly.
Any money or other valuable thing.
Any money or any valuable thing.
For the performance or non-performance.
For the performance or non-performance.
Of any act or duty.
Of any act or duty.
Pertaining to my office.
Pertaining to my office.
Other than a compensation.
Other than the compensation.
Allowed by law.
Allowed by law.
I further swear.
I further swear.
That I will faithfully.
That I will faithfully.
Discharge my duties.
Discharge my duties.
As Commissioner of the City.
As Commissioner of the City.
Of Enid.
Of Enid.
To the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
That's it, guys. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jordan. I want to know what that compensation they talking about.
We are?
She's always got a line of them just for me, because I never have one.
Is that out?
There now.
It's gonna be a long night.
Fine. Who would think of something like that? You're the third?
Well,
Yeah, you're number 3. Yeah, you're number 3, yeah. Old hat.
So is this when I get to lobby for a new seat assignment downstairs at the table?
5.
Yes.
Numerical, so.
Oh. Is it?
Seriously, because the mayor wanted to sit where he could hear better. So we'll be changing that.
Okay.
So that actually shifts some folks around.
Wait, what are we, who
It's
are
gonna-
moving the mayor to?
He's going to move to where I've been sitting.
Oh, okay.
I'm going
No,
to,
you could always have a.
Dan probably move everybody up. And
So I want George's old seat.
thinking, there well, we're going to put signs out. You guys can move the signs around.
That'll work.
Yep,
Whatever the new mayor
that's
allows.
fine.
Wait, I'm keeping, I feel like I've called dibs 6 years. It's too late to change.
I'm good here. I'm like downstairs. That's what I'm looking.
Seniority card, huh? So the youngest by about 30 years, but
These are,
Okay, there you go.
and I will just say for the new commissioners just installed, all of you, there's a certificate from the county election board, just memorializing that you are the either duly elected or appointed person.
Okay, good.
All right, Mayor, we're ready to roll on with item 6.
All right. Item 6.1, item 6, hearings 6.1. Conduct a public hearing to take comments on a rezoning for property described as Lot 5, Block 2, Lahoma Addition, located at 603 South Cleveland Street, from C1 Light Commercial District to C3 General Commercial District.
Thank you, Mayor, City Commission, City Manager. This slide in front of you shows the property being considered at 603 South Cleveland in blue. It is located inside a community center per the comprehensive plan. The site is outlined in yellow, currently is zone C1. We're seeking C3 to match the zoning to the east. And the last slide is we want to make sure that we have access to the property through road, we do. And we also want to make sure we have access to public water and sewer, and we do. Planning Commission reviewed this. Their recommendation is to approve. This is a hearing. There may be others in the room that wish to speak to this item.
Nobody signed up to speak on that topic?
No, just a hearing.
Just a hearing, okay. All right.
So move on to the next.
Okay.
You will take a vote.
Item 6.2, consider an ordinance amending the Enid Municipal Code 2014, Title 11, entitled Zoning, Chapter 2, entitled Administration and Enforcement, Section 11.2-2-1, entitled Changes and Amendments, to change Lot 5, Block 2, Lahoma Addition, to rezone certain property as General Commercial District and describing the same, to amend the zoning cap accordingly, provide for repealer, savings clause, severability, and codification.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, please cast your ballot. Motion carries 6-0. And just for the record, there will be nobody voting for the commission's 6th seat tonight, so that's why the votes will be 6 as a maximum. Okay, thank you. All right. 6.3, conduct a public hearing to take comments on rezoning for property described as Lot 6, Block 2, Lahoma Addition, located at 611 South Cleveland Street, from R4 residential duplex or two-family dwelling district to C3 General Commercial District.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the same slide in the comprehensive plan as the previous one. This property is outlined in yellow. It's directly south of the one that you just took action on. It is zoned R4. We're seeking C3. Planning Commission reviewed this. We have access to a road, water, and sewer. Their recommendation is to approve. Okay. Just like the previous one, it is a hearing. There may be somebody that would like to speak.
Okay. No one has signed up. Is there any others? Seeing no other additional personnel that wish to speak, we'll move on to the next one. Item 6.4, consider an ordinance amending the Enid Municipal Code 2014, Title 11, entitled Zoning, Chapter 2, entitled Administration and Enforcement, Section 11-2-1, entitled Changes and Amendments, to change Lot 6, Block 2, Lahoma Addition, to rezone certain property as General Commercial District and describing the same, to amend the zoning map accordingly, providing for repealer, savings clause, severability, and codification.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion from Ben, second from Jonathan. I'm sorry, Jonathan, and second by Derwin. Any other discussion? Hearing none, cast your ballot, please. Motion carries 6-0. Item 6.5, conduct a public hearing to take comments on a rezoning for property described as Block 10, Lahoma Addition, located at 2201 West Owen-K. Garriott Road, from SU Special Use District to G3 General Commercial District.
This property is located in the community center, same as the two previous rezonings. The area being considered is outlined in yellow and is zoned SU currently. We are seeking C3. We do have access to Garriott Road for the property, and we do have access to public water and sewer. Planning Commission evaluated this. Their recommendation is to approve.
Okay,
This is a hearing on this one as well, if there's anybody that wishes to speak.
okay. No one has signed. Consider an ordinance amending the Enid Municipal Code 2014, Title 11, entitled Zoning, Chapter 2, entitled Administration and Enforcement, Section 11.-2-1, entitled Changes and Amendments, to change Block 10, Lahoma addition, to rezone certain property as general commercial district and describing the same, to amend the zoning map accordingly, provide for repealers, savings clause, severability, and codification.
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay, motion by Ben, second by Derwin. Jonathan, why am I doing that?
I told you.
I know. Okay.
John, this job as mayor is tougher than it looks.
But it might be easier if you guys would just agree to change your name.
Yeah, okay.
Let's switch seats.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, please cast your ballot. Motion carries 6-0. Okay, item 7. Conduct a public hearing to take comment on a rezoning for property described as Block 1, lots 1, 2, 3, 4, 13, 14, 15, 16, Block 2, and 16, Block 2. Original town site of City of Enid, Garfield County, Oklahoma, according to the recorded plot thereof, along with a portion of the vacated North 9th Street between East Broadway Avenue and East Randolph Avenue, described as beginning at northwest corner of Block 1, original town site of the City of Enid, thence south 320 feet to the southwest corner of Block 1, original town site of the City of Enid, thence west 80 feet to the southeast corner of Lot 16, Block 2, original town site of the City of Enid, thence 320 feet to the northeast corner of Lot 1, Block 2, original town site of the City of Enid, thence 80 feet to the point of beginning, located in the 800 block of East Randolph Avenue and East Broadway Avenue from C3 General Commercial District and R7 Residential Multifamily Dwelling District to SU Special Use District.
Thank you, Mayor. It's located just outside the neighborhood center at Broadway and 10th. It is in the Broadway corridor, neighborhood corridor, and it's also located in a redeveloping neighborhood. The SU area is the Longfellow Junior High School right here. This is their property that they've acquired to the west. They're seeking to rezone that to SU and develop soccer field and playgrounds for the school. Just like the 3 previous ones, we want to make sure we have access to road, water, and sewer. We do. Planning Commission reviewed this. It's their recommendation to approve. This is also a hearing, Mayor. There may be others that wish to speak.
Okay. All right. All right, item 8, consider an ordinance amending the Enid Municipal Code 201.
Mayor.
Pardon me?
This is awfully long, and I really think you can say it's the ordinance that does the rezoning that we just talked about.
Okay, I totally concur. All right. This is an ordinance to consider the hearing that we just discussed. So.
I move to approve.
Okay.
A second.
It is Ben.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Derwin.
And it is Derwin. Okay, motion by Ben, second by Derwin. Any other discussion? Hearing none, cast your ballot. Okay, motion carries 6-0. All right, item 9, conduct a public hearing to take comment on rezoning for property described as Lot 1, Block 7, Go-Hits, 3rd Edition, located at 601 West State Avenue from SU Special Use District to CO Commercial Office District.
Thank you, Mayor. This is located in a traditional neighborhood. My next slide will help you see that. It's located it's in the yellow box. It is designated as SU, and it's immediately east of the Integris Bass Cardiovascular Center. It's Dr. Taylor's dentist office, those of you know him. We want to make sure we have access to road, water, and sewer. We do. The applicant is seeking to have it really zoned correctly for what is being used as CO. Planning Commission reviewed it and are recommending approval.
Okay.
Chris, yes.
Public knowledge, what does SU stand for?
Special use, and that's typically government buildings, schools, parks, things that are public and quasi-public, special use.
Okay. All right.
So there may be somebody signed up to speak on this one as well.
Nope, there's not. Okay. Okay. Okay, item 10. Consider an ordinance instituting everything we just talked about in the previous discussion.
Motion to approve. Second.
Hey, Jonathan and Durwood. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll please cast your ballot. Okay, thank you. Motion carries 6-0. Okay, item 7, administration. Item 7.1, discuss and take necessary action on the fiscal year 2019-2020 City of Enid budget.
Yes, Mayor and Commissioners, before we continue on with the Event Center, I just want to give you an opportunity if there's anything that you would like to address and make action on that we could not make action on during study session, now would be the time to address those. Also, Michael League is here if there's any specific questions on the golf course budget that he could answer for you. None?
Okay. Nope.
All right, we will continue on with the Event Center Fund, and this is on page 132 of your budget draft. Up here in front of you are the revenues. You can see we're coming in projecting to have a slight increase in revenue. That's on both sides of the revenue there. There is hotel tax that we're projecting to come in slightly over budget, and Spectra is also projecting to come in slightly over budget on running of the Event Center, the Stride Bank Center buildings. In our expenditures, you can see also that trend is up. As we have higher hotel tax, we'll have higher payouts to the county for their share of what those are. And there's also some more operations expense related to those higher revenues in Spectra. Capital outlay also has a higher amount this year. We would like to continue to trend that up just a little more. We like to make sure there's enough in there, so if there's an air conditioner or something that goes out during the year with such a huge facility, that we do have enough to take care of those repairs as needed as they come up throughout the year. This next slide just takes everything that has to do with the Spectra operations out, so it's just looking at what is the city portion of this fund. And so as we walk through it from the top, looking at the proposed FY20 budget, hotel tax we're projecting to come in at $1.45 million. That's 8% that's charged on those hotel tax rooms. 3% of that by the ordinance goes to the county, so that leaves $906,000 in revenue from hotel tax that we have to spend in this fund. We also project to have some interest earnings a little higher, so since we've had some fund balance a little bit build up in this fund to take care of those capital items. Visiting it has the same budget proposed of $475,000 that comes out of those revenues. We have insurance on the building to cover, and the Spectra contract incentive is 7.5% of their food and beverage, and that has continued to go up, so you see a slight increase in that line item this year. And we were able to up the capital budget item to 219. We feel more comfortable with that number. If we could get a little bit higher, we'd feel even more comfortable, just if there were anything large. If not, we would have to send money from maybe EMA to take care of larger things if we don't budget for it during this process. So whenever all that's said and done, that leaves $111,000 left of the hotel tax. Still need the transfer from EMA. That brings $325,000 over, which brings it to $436,000 that we'll need to supplement the operating for Spectra. You can see last year their budget was $480,000. They're projecting to have a $44,000 decrease in their deficit for the next year. Have questions on the city side of the Event Center budget? Okay, Kevin Brisky is the general manager of the Stride Center, and he is here, and he's going to go over their portion of the budget and answer any questions you have on their operations.
Thank you, Commissioners, Mayor, City Manager. We'll go through this fairly quickly here. So just a little bit about Spectra. It's the company that I work for and that manages the Stride Bank Center. We specialize in managing facilities like this across the United States, Canada, and pretty much across the world here. And the areas that we have expertise in are venue management, food service, and hospitality and partnerships. We actually have all three of those branches that we handle here over at the Stride Bank Center. Just a quick overview of what we'll talk about here. So first, for FY19, this is 9 actual months and 3 projected months. We are going to hit a record amount of events. We're projecting to have 389 events this year, all doing that with just 12 full-time staff members, which very proud of our staff and what they've been able to accomplish so far this year. Our event operating incomes coming in at $553,000, just over that. Our personnel and operating expenses is well under what we budgeted, coming in just under $1.4 million. Other income and other revenue at $384,000. So as we saw on the other slide, we were budgeted to be at a $480,000 deficit. Right now, we're projecting for this fiscal year to come in at a $446,000 deficit. So about $35,000 better at the moment than what was budgeted. Taking a look at the comparison for the 2 years. So next year, we're projecting 291 of our just over 360 events going to be on the convention hall side, majority of those coming in as meetings and banquets. On the event center side, very heavy in the sports column, as we could see. That's going to be almost 60% of our events. I have spoken with Enid Public Schools, and they are expecting to use the Stride Bank Center for all their basketball season for one more year. And then concerts is the other big number on that. And just some details on our budget for FY20. So direct event revenue, we project to increase by about $50,000 to get to just over $600,000. Ancillary revenue is where we're going to see a lot of our growth, projecting over $900,000 there for a gross event operating revenue of $1.5 million. Our expenses from the events will be $847,000, leaving an event operating income of just under $700,000. With our other income sponsorships up just a hair at $385,000 to leave a net operating income just over $1 million. Taking out our indirect expense, which will climb just slightly, we expect to be operating at a deficit of just over $436,000, which will be the best ever for the Stride Bank Center. And this graph just kind of shows how every year it has gotten better and better and better from the start to where we are now. It continues to grow and improve. And I think when we talk about future stuff, which we'll get to in 1 second, you'll see why we can expect even a bigger trend after 2020. Here is the CVB financial budget for FY20 as well. The sales tax revenue, or the request for funding, has not changed. That'll stay at $475,000. They do raise money from sales on items they have in their store, and also visitor guide ads. And then with some savings they have this year, they're able to supplement for their budget next year as well to cover anything that may go over. And then taking a look at where we can see some growth and where we expect some opportunities to come. Some of this is the same we've been talking about for the past 3 years I've been here, and hopefully the next time I'm up here in a year, that hotel one will come off because it'll be completed, and we can finally close on that. I will say, when we look at conferences and conventions, even despite the hotel not being open yet, we do have 3 conventions, conferences already booked before the hotel opens. One of those is OGEDA. The other one is the Oklahoma Baptist Foundation is coming back for their annual conference. And then we have the Red Carpet Country Conference coming back as well. And then for this fiscal year, FY20, we already have 2 conventions and conferences booked for April. One of those is the Ambucks Regional Conference, and the other is the Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses. Those 2 will be coming in April. So 5 conferences, conventions already on the books for FY20. And I can say, even already looking forward to FY21, because when we look at conferences and conventions, they usually book 3 to 5 years out. For fiscal year 2021, we already have the City Managers Association Conference on the books and the Oklahoma Museums Association. So already, because of the hotel, 2 long-term conferences on the books. So we're excited for that. Some other things we're working on, sporting events is going to be a big area of growth, especially knowing that after this year, we will be losing Enid High basketball to their new gymnasium. We'll be looking to fill some dates over the winter months there, which I think some of these sporting events will be able to finish or fill. The food and beverage, we mentioned the ancillary growth. I think there's more there. We've started doing some beverage catering over at the Breeze area, and there's other areas where we can assist other places in town in that category. And then we look at just the diversity of events we have and all the different things we do, whether it be the mix of concerts we have and just the mix in convention hall, just a lot going on there. So a lot of good opportunities. The picture up top there, we just announced a show. We did a soft announce last night after the Beach Boys. The Casey and the Sunshine Band will be coming on August 29th, and we'll keep the shows coming, but that's the one we announced this morning. So speaking of sporting events, we do have the Flying Aces as well, a new indoor football team starting this year, which has been a great addition to our event mix. So that's what I have. If anyone has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Okay. We had talked, I think the last time we reviewed your contract, about kind of the balance between the risk-reward balance in some of the concerts, that the first year or 2 years we were open, we were once or twice a year trying to kind of take a flyer on an event that had maybe higher risk, but significantly higher. I think you called it self-promoted. Is that the term you use?
Yeah, they are self-promoted where we're taking the risk, yeah.
And that maybe we don't want those all the time. We don't want to bear that kind of risk, but maybe a little more than we are, try to get some of those bigger names. With the understanding that although there's the financial risk, we get a lot more folks coming through town from out of town to come spend money here.
Yep.
And I don't know how that has played out over the last year or so. I won't pretend to have like a great, pulse on what people come see, but it doesn't feel like we've had one of those really big names in the last 18 months or so.
Right.
And I'd kind of like to see, again, not all the time, but once or twice a year, let's try to stretch a little bit and take a flyer on one of those. I think it's good for us to have people coming in from a town and spending their sales tax here.
Yeah, definitely agree, and I know, and Gerald can attest, we've been working on some lately that hopefully can come to fruition here, and we can get some bigger names in the town, but I know that's been our focus. My boss was just in town, and that was my big focus with him as well, is that's something that we need to see growth in FY20 and 21, is bringing in once, twice a year one of those big names. So hopefully one of those can come through here, and we'll have one, hopefully, yes. In the next 12 months, yep. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, those are all the funds that we have under city administration to discuss this evening. We'll move on to some of those other funds next Thursday, and on the 21st. Our other two tonight are EMA and EEDA, so they're under those sections in the agenda.
Okay. All right. Next item is item 2. Hold a public hearing on an ordinance amending the Enid Municipal Code 2014, Title 11, Zoning, Chapter 3, Board of Adjustment, Section 11-3-6, Special Exceptions, to add a special exception for telecommunication facilities, providing for repealer, savings clause, severability, and codification.
Yes, the Federal Telecommunications Act of 1996 has complicated our procedures for approving cell towers. And we have had this ordinance, which was suggested that we needed it for by the JLU study, and we've sent the ordinance to Mike Cooper and to the base, and I think they've also sent it up the chain. Some of the regional places that Mr. Cooper had talked about. One of the we had been doing, and it had been fine for quite a few years, just having cell towers reviewed with the variance process. But reading the extensive case law involving the interplay of variances and the Telecommunications Act. The variance standards have been there since before I became a lawyer. And they are very specific, and I have drafted the special exceptions to be precisely what is required in order to consider a telecommunication facility. And the special exception works the same way through the Board of Adjustment. It's just that special exceptions allow you to craft specifically what they're supposed to look at. And so you've got these 4 different factors. Now, it's still not going to be easy. I told the MAPC that really the Telecommunications Act really doesn't give us a lot of leeway in presenting our objections about where telecommunication facilities go. Now, we are different than most cities. Most cities, basically, you have to put the telecommunication towers where the companies want it and where the FCC allows it. But we have an Air Force base. And so the Air Force base, number B is really fairly significant. And if it runs afoul of that, I think we will be fine in federal court if we get if it is appealed in federal court. So basically, this is our attempt to carefully tailor a way where we can have local say on telecommunication facility location, particularly where Vance is affected, but perhaps we would find a situation where we could use the other factors as well. And is anyone here to talk about
Whatever you say, Carol.
or make comments about the ordinance?
So Colonel, you and legal staff have looked at this provision?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Doesn't look like anybody. So, item 3?
They're all shy.
Yeah. So we moved to item 3, right?
Right.
Okay. Consider an ordinance amending the Enid Municipal Code 2104, Title 11, Zoning, Chapter 1, Purpose, Interpretation, Definitions, Section 11-1-7, Definitions to add imagery services and vertical obstructions. Chapter 3, Board of Adjustment, Section 11-3-6, Special Exceptions, to add a special exception for telecommunication facilities, providing for repealer, savings clause, severability, and codification.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Ben, second by Derwin. Any other discussion? Hearing none, please cast your ballot. Motion carries 6-0. All right, hold public hearing, item 4. Hold public hearing on an ordinance amending the Enid Municipal Code 2104, Title 11, Zoning, Chapter 1, Purpose, Interpretation, Definitions, Section 11-1-7, Definitions, to add small wireless facility, amending Chapter 5, an agricultural general district, Section 11-5-2, permitted uses, Chapter 6, residential districts, Article E, 4-R-4A, four-family residential district, Section 11-6E-2, permitted uses, Chapter 9, SU, special use district, Section 11-9-2, district use regulations, to include small wireless facility as a permitted use, providing for repealer, savings clause, severability, and codification, and declaring an emergency.
Well, I begin to wonder if there really is an emergency on this, because it's gone into effect November 1st, 2018, but it took a while to get all the approvals. But Okay, there are these tiny little wireless things that, in general, little dealies that you put up each, and they're tiny, and most of the cities are being asked to put them on their poles, but we don't have any poles. But because OG&E has the poles, and OG&E is part of this, but it doesn't affect us. Okay, the law says that we have to say that these tiny little small wireless facilities have to be permitted uses in all zoning districts except those zoned for residential, single-family, or duplex use. So that's what this does. It provides it as a permitted use. Luckily, our zoning is tiered so that I didn't have to include every single zoning, because a lot of the zonings say, yes, it would have been a lot longer. A lot of the zonings say anything in R4. So this is it. Now, there may be people, I doubt it, but there may be people who want to talk about it. After that, I think you could say, Mayor, if you wanted to, just say the ordinance on the small wireless facility. We do need a separate motion, and it will take every single one of you to vote the emergency. But as I said, you know, I think we can survive if we have a divided vote. Thank you very much.
First, item 5, consider an ordinance on the hearing that was just conducted.
To approve.
Okay. Second. Ben and Jonathan. Any other discussion? All in favor, say, all in favor, vote aye.
Move the emergency.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, motion to approve and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote. Okay, both issues were carried with a 6-0 vote. Thank you.
I'll move to approve everything except 8.13.
Okay, motion by Ben.
Second.
Wait. Pull 4 and 5.
4 and 5.
I'll amend my motion accordingly.
4, 5, and 13.
Okay. So the motion was amended to pull 4, 5, and 13 from the consent agenda.
Second.
Second was accepted. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor? Motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Item 7, administration.
8.4.
Huh?
8.4.
Oh.
On the, what was the item that was pulled from the consent?
Oh, I went up to, I'm sorry. Yeah, I lost where it was.
It's 8.4.
Okay. All right, 8.4, pardon me. Accept the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality, EDEQ, permit number WL00000241909197 to construct a water line to serve the Pheasant Run Golf Community, blocks 27 to 29, project number W-1911.
Raleigh, would you come up and speak to? Dana, can you, I think we have a consent item that you can pull up that shows on the screen.
Aren't 4 and 5 just because you want to abstain?
I'll move to approve item
Yes.
8.4.
Okay.
Point 4 and point 5.
Can I do them at the same motion? I move to approve 8.4 and 8.5.
Okay, motion to approve.
Well done, Raleigh.
Okay.
That's
That was easy.
Second by Jonathan. Any other discussion? All, please vote. Motion carries 5-0 with 1 abstention.
And
Okay,
then
do we need to go back to the consent?
8.13,
We're just pulling it.
next time, so there's no need to, there's no vote or anything on that. We
Okay. So which one's?
Item 9.
Okay.
9, that was recessed to
13's looking at now, Ben.
We're pulling
Okay.
it for
Yeah.
next session.
Right.
All right, we're up to item 9, recess to convene as the Enid Municipal Authority. Item number 10, trustees of the Enid Municipal Authority regular meeting are all in attendance, except for a vacant seat in Ward 6. Item 11, Enid Municipal Authority regular meeting is now in session. 11.1, discuss and take action, necessary action on the fiscal year 2019-2020 Enid Municipal Authority financial plan.
We're continuing with EMA, Enid Municipal Authority, page 150 in your budget books. We have a balanced budget in the EMA.
Slides.
Personnel is 4.4 million, which is approximately 7.7% of the entire budget for EMA. Operations is 56.2% of the total EMA. Our capital outlay is 2.7, and our debt service is 33.4%. Our comparison compared to FY19, we have an increase in revenues of 4.3 million. The other items, including revenues, we will look at in detail on the other slides. Debt is the Call Lake Water Supply Program, and we have operations increased 1.5 million. 1.375 million of that is the increased transfer to general fund. And of the 4.3 million increase in revenues, 3.5 of that is water. And personnel, like we talked downstairs, is an overall of the collective bargaining agreements and the health increases. So our revenue, we have sales tax is 31% of EMA revenue, and the remaining 69% is the utility revenues. And we will discuss on the next slide the details of what that entails. So our comparison for revenue, water shows the increase of the 3.5. Water, stormwater, and trash services all were based on where we're projecting to end this fiscal year. And then we have no change in sewer, and we have miscellaneous. That's a variety of several things, but 200,000 of that miscellaneous increase is the grinder trade that we expect when we get a new grinder. They told us that they might pay us for the one that we currently have. And then the sales tax is the 2% increase. That's the 352,000 from general fund, and the 2% is the increase across the board. EMA expenses, we have personnel, operations, transfers, capital outlay, and then the debt payments. The total overall is 4.3, and each of those will be broken down in the next slides. There are 8 departments in the EMA fund. Of the 3.6 million increase for the EMA operations, transfers out increased by 1.4 million, and of that, the 1.375 increase to general fund is included in that. And then we have the debt payments that were increased by 2.27 million. There's not a whole lot in all the other departments, just the personnel numbers. The utility maintenance and wastewater, and possibly part of the water production, we're still moving around trying to get some utilities straight. So utility maintenance actually would show quite a bit decrease, where the wastewater plant management would show an increase. but we also moved the 2 full-time positions from the general fund to the utility maintenance department. So that's why that's the only reason they're showing an increase at all. So we had some utilities that we were rearranging between the departments on the plant management side. On solid waste, we do have the trash truck leases will be up in this next fiscal year, but they plan on renewing that. So we'll have a total of 6 trash trucks on leases again. And the capital replacement, we have a separate slide for that. This slide is looking at the EMA transfers comparison. We've talked about the general fund increase. All the other ones are based on the projects that will be coming on Thursday night to discuss. So you will see that more. The street and alley fund, we also added a new street point repair pilot program, and they'll also talk more about that on Thursday night. And that is a new pilot program that they are starting in the FY20 year. The EMA equipment, we had 11 items this year. There's 14 items proposed for FY20. You'll see the largest being the grinder. This is the prioritized list of the requests based on funding availability. Solid waste had most of their requests, but theirs usually are the larger ticket items, and so they're kind of always the highest in that group. There's 5 trucks spread throughout 4 different departments, and we have a demolition of the old plant also in there. Landfill total was $861,000. The AMI, which is the automated meter infrastructure, we have that in. This is the second year we have in place to replace the meters that are not currently working properly, and other parts that they do replace when they go out. And some are under warranty, but for the most part, they buy very large pallets at one time. So the remaining is only $273,000. Any questions on this?
Yes, the wastewater treatment plant. So you're dismantling it, taking it apart?
We're doing demos, sir. We're going to start taking some of the old plant down and burying it according to ODEP permitting and make sure that it's covered up and grass and seeded.
So this will be the first part of that. So it's been ongoing?
This is just the beginning, yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I was driving by it the other day and I thought, I wonder what they're ever going to do with that. So that's good. That's a good thing.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome. Any other questions on this slide? Okay, now we talk about the debt payments, which start on page 157. One of our loans paid off this fiscal. You'll see that one on the top. And we added 3 that are listed at the bottom. That increased our yearly debt payment for FY20 over $2.2 million. And of course, the 3 bottom that were added have to do with Caw Lake. And the total now outstanding principal and interest is over $253 million, an increase of over $183 million, which is the total of the bottom 3. And we have a debt schedule in the budget book that lists all of the debt that we have, including an EMA and EEDA. Any questions about EMA before we move on?
Okay. 14.2, approval of claims in the amount of $318,151.89.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion by Ben, second by Derwin. Please cast your ballot. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Okay, item 12, adjourn to convene as the Enid Economic Development Authority. Item 13, trustees of the Enid Economic Development Authority regular meeting are all in attendance, except for Ward 6, not currently represented. Item 14, Enid Economic Development Authority regular meeting is now in session. Item 14.1, discuss and take necessary action on the fiscal year 2019-2020 Enid Economic Development Authority financial plan.
All right, this is an overview of the Enid Economic Development Authority. You can see this year we have a balanced budget in EEDA. Last year we did have funding that had come in a prior year that had to be paid out on that final payment for the 2005 TIF for advanced foods, and that's why there was a deficit budget in last year that is not carrying over to this year. When we look at the revenues that are coming into the Enid Economic Development Authority, you'll see TIF receipts are up $700,000. That's related to the ADM TIF. It may not be that high, but again, whatever we receive in is what we're paying out according to that agreement. And so we just want to make sure there is sufficient funding in there. We don't know yet what the actual dollars will be until we get that probably next year around this time frame. Same. Pretty much on every other line item, there's some slight decreases in transfers needed to meet those contractual obligations in EEDA. When we look at the expenditures for EEDA, again, professional services went down $100,000. There was money in there last year to demo the old fire station. That's completed, one-time thing. So that's removed this year. We did see an increase in sales tax rebates. That is really related to the room rate guarantee for the downtown hotel. We needed to include that for the first time this year. Economic development was Northwest Water Action Plan that was budgeted for last year. It had been a several-year project, and there was not a submittal this year for that. And TIF payments, again, that's that $700,000 that matches the revenue, the outflow of that coming in. There are two outstanding debt notes in the Economic Development Authority. One is a HUD 108 loan, which is funded through CDBG funds. That does pay off in August of 19, so this is the last year that you will see that budgeted for in the Economic Development Authority. There's also a 2015 taxable series note that doesn't pay off until 2023, so you'll continue to see that one. The variance there is just related to the interest that's going to be due on that note, and the advanced foods TIF has rolled off. And so that's what we have for EEDA. The main expenditure, one of the main expenditures in this fund, of course, is related to the ERDA and all the work that they're doing. And tonight we have Lisa Powell here to give you some updates on ERDA and answer any questions you may have on their operations.
He's also the only one signed up for anything.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager. And welcome and congratulations to all of our new commissioners.
And to you as well, Lisa.
Okay, I don't have any handouts for you tonight, and I don't have a PowerPoint for you.
Thank God.
Okay. Well, to be honest, this was originally scheduled on the 21st, and we moved it up because I was going to be out of town, and so it stuck up on me just a little bit. But so what I want to walk through is what our plan of work will look like for next year. And there are 5 main areas that we will be focusing on or continue to focus on. One is business recruitment and retention. In economic development, you'll hear the term BR&E. That's what that refers to, and that's really what we spend the majority of our time doing. The second is workforce attraction. We all know that that's definitely a need in the area. Supporting entrepreneurship, working on community development, and then working on recruitment of new business as well as new workforce. We are requesting, as you saw, $550,000 again this year, which is a flat budget for us. About $250,000 of that goes to administration, so that provides the majority of salaries and admin for the office, and that's what we use for technical support. Where that's, again, where we spend the majority of our time. So, but what I want to highlight are some of those programs that would require funding. I mentioned BR&E, and I'm happy to say that we will be enhancing our BR&E program in a collaboration with Autry Technology Center, and that really involves the time we spend going out and meeting with our existing businesses to understand the health of those businesses, any of the needs that they may have. It's just like in sales, you know, it's always cheaper to keep a customer that you already have instead of find a new one. And so we do spend a lot of effort in there, and I think we will be able to amplify our efforts in working together with Autry Tech to do that. We'll be talking about ways, we haven't developed the program yet, but we are talking about ways that we may also be able to financially support retention and expansion of our existing businesses as a local financial support for that. Sometimes there are state incentives that are available to do that, but we'd like to see if there's ways that locally we might be able to help that as well. A lot of that will depend on how those visits go and what the needs are of our employers. Workforce attraction. So we've been talking a lot lately. Every community in the country is fighting for workforce, which is a really callous way of saying, you know, bringing new people and citizens to live and work in Enid. And so we all know that in Northwest Oklahoma, the person that's most likely to come back and live here are people that are from here. Any of us who have, a lot of us have done that, and any of us who are hiring a lot of times know that that's the best employee. So we are talking about starting some boomerang programs, which is an old term that the state and locally we used to do, and so that will include some marketing and outreach to former alumni of the area, and this may include all of Northwest Oklahoma, not just the Enid area. And a lot of it will just be about educating them on all the change that's happened here in Enid. You know, if they left like I did in the 90s or after that time, they are not aware of the Enid that we have today, because it is much different, as we all know, than it was when they left. And so that may be a big marketing campaign that we do to attract workforce. And another initiative in workforce attraction and development includes just continuing to raise awareness with employers and employees about the support and offerings that are available in our educational facilities, career tech, and higher ed, as well as the job opportunities that are available in Enid. That is just always a challenge to make sure that the information gets out to both job seekers and employers. Entrepreneurship. Enid is an entrepreneurial community. That's one of our branding statements. We started out as an entrepreneurial community, and if you look at some of the top employers in town, 80–90% of them all started as entrepreneurs. So we continue to support those efforts through providing funding for the programs at Autry Tech, Northern Oklahoma College, and Northwestern Oklahoma State University, including the Cherokee Strip Business Model Competition. We fund a Start with Enid program, which is an assistance program for any new business opening in Enid. Includes helping to offset some of their initial utility costs and getting them connected with some of our Chamber of Commerce, Main Street Enid, Enid Young Professionals, all of those organizations that can help them get plugged into the community. We have a Growing and Loan program, which is a participation loan to help close the equity gap for businesses who are needing financing for their business. So we continue to fund that program. And we are starting a new program this year. Again, the terms of that program are still in process, but it's a micro-enterprise assistance program. Part of that will be for income-restricted category of clients, and that will be partially funded through CDBG funding, but we will also have a micro-enterprise assistance program for another category of income clients. And whether that's a 100% grant program or a partial loan repayment program, we are not sure yet. But a micro-enterprise is considered a business with fewer than 10 employees, so it would be targeted at those very smallest businesses. Number 4 was community development. We are doing a lot of work right now at the GCIA Industrial Park, looking to increase some infrastructure out there so that we can move those lots faster. We have a lot of interest in smaller lot sizes out there, which will require some additional road, water, and sewer. So we continue to work on that. We've been supporting the downtown facade renovations with Main Street Enid as a partner in that competitive grant that they are offering this year. We have developed, yet to be approved by the board, but a downtown sprinkler assistance program that will go before the board this week to help offset costs for downtown sprinklers that are needed for commercial businesses. We will be doing a small business resource fair this year in conjunction with Main Street Enid, Autry Technology Center, and REI, and all of the other community partners that we have that offer resources to small business. And of course, in community development, we'll continue to support Ricky Hayes and retail recruitment for the city and lead the efforts of the Enid First team in working towards our sales tax goal of $1 billion, or sales revenue goal of $1 billion by 2025. By increasing the number of jobs and filling the retail gaps that we have to raise the revenue in Enid for retail sales. Finally, is recruitment. Recruitment is last on the list because with a shortage in workforce, it doesn't make a lot of sense to go out and recruit, 1,000 new jobs to the community. So the way I plan to keep my fingers in recruitment is by focusing on what we refer to as call trips. And those are trips to some of the metro hubs like Dallas and Houston, Atlanta, where site selectors are located who do work with industry when they are trying to identify a new community or site to move to. And so by expanding those relationships and making them aware of what's available in Enid, they are then able to communicate that to their clients when their clients are looking for new locations. And so we'll continue to keep up those relationships, and that will be our priority in recruitment for next year. And marketing. We'll continue our Enid Success Stories program that we have with E-Town Magazine. We'll have some new videos that are rolling out here in the next couple months. And, a lot of what we do is marketing, so that we'll continue to invest there. So any questions on any of that? And if you are interested in numbers about what's going to be allocated to which program, I can get with you on those numbers as well. Don't have them with me tonight, though. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Sure.
That concludes our budget discussions for tonight. We'll pick up again on Thursday at 5 o'clock, and we will go over the capital improvement program. There's 7 funds there, and engineering will be highlighting the evening, going over those projects for you.
Thank you. All right, 14.2, approval and of claims in the amount of $1,202,481.69.
Move to approve.
Second?
Second.
Okay, Ben. Please cast your vote. Motion carries 6-0. All right, item number 15. We'll adjourn to convene as the Enid Public Transportation Authority. Trustees of the Enid Public Transportation Authority regular meeting are all in attendance. Enid Public Transportation Authority regular meeting is now in session. 17.1, approval of claims in the amount of $5,657.51.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion by Jonathan, second by Ben. Any other discussion? Please cast your ballot. Okay, motion carries 6-0. Item number 18, adjourn to reconvene as the Enid City Commission. Item number 19, public comments. We had one, it was Lisa, and I believe you've already addressed that, correct? Okay, so we have no additional comments. To be considered. Okay, one final announcement before we break up today. The Ward 6 seat is open. If you know of anybody or if you are interested and live in Ward 6, there'll be a public notice going out here in the next day or so, and I intend to be able to consider and take care of appointment at the next meeting on the 21st. So anyway, look for that, and if you're interested, please consider applying. That said, no other business, and we're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for the Enid City Commission meeting. All meetings are broadcast on local cable channel 12 and in high definition on channel 112. In addition, the council meeting is live streamed on the web at enidtv.org. If you have any questions or comments regarding this broadcast, please visit the City of Enid website at enid.org.